Tell you the facts. They called me.
Rudy Giuliani is fighting back.
I wasn't operating on my own.
Insisting his talks with Ukrainian officials were proper, important, and encouraged by the U.S. State Department.
In fact, I'm a legitimate whistleblower.
So why is President Trump's personal lawyer so worked up? It comes in the wake of news about the now infamous call between Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. In that call, Giuliani's name comes up repeatedly as Trump asks for foreign help investigating Democrat Joe Biden. Rudy very much knows what's happening, Trump says. If you could speak to him, that would be great. That has raised accusations Giuliani was acting as an improper agent of the State Department, arranging a political hit job from afar in the name of official business. Giuliani says no way he was helping investigate corruption, and he says he has a paper trail that proves it, including this text message from a State Department official arranging a meeting.
I went to meet Mr. Zelensky's aide at the request of the State Department. 15 memos make that clear.
The State Department says Mr. Giuliani is a private citizen and acts in a personal capacity as a lawyer for President Trump. He does not speak on behalf of the U.S. government. But he has spoken for Trump many times.
What you just said is totally erroneous. It's not a crime.
Attacking his foes, dismissing his critics.
It depends on where it came from. It didn't obstruct.
The president calls him a loyal ally.
Rudy's a very straight shooter.
His critics call him something else.
He is the political henchman for the president.
And Giuliani is clearly hedging his bets against another potential title he could be saddled with if the Ukraine affair gets much messier. Fall Guy.
And welcome to this special edition of The Lead, White House in Crisis. I'm Jake Tapper. To say we are in an unprecedented time is understating just how aberrant the behavior from the President of the United States has become. Today, President Trump not only openly called for exactly what Congress is looking into in their impeachment inquiry, pushing the Ukrainians to investigate his domestic political rival Joe Biden, but the president expanded what critics are calling a clear abuse of power to include China. No whistleblower required here. President Trump pushed this at the White House on the South Lawn after being asked by a reporter what exactly he wants from Ukraine's leaders.
I would think that if they were honest about it, they'd start a major investigation into the Bidens. It's a very simple answer. They should investigate the Bidens, because how does a company that's newly formed, and all these companies, if you look at, and by the way, likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens.
A reminder that the prosecutor and, as of today, former president of Ukraine both assert that there's no evidence of wrongdoing by either Joe Biden or his son. But beyond the indecency of this potential abuse of power is the shock of the deafening silence from almost everyone in the Republican Party, apparently hoping that history will never wonder what they were doing while this was all happening.
Feet away from what's left of the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Paris Police Prefecture. Now, we understand in the last hour or so, inside the very heart of that building, there appears to have been an incident which has left a man wielding a knife shot dead, and it seems 2 police officers seriously injured. Now, from what we're seeing, the area there, it occurs on, I'm sure those of you familiar in Paris, on one of the central islands of that particular city. That island has been sealed off. We understand that the metro station is also being searched as well. So certainly a sense of paralysis there in an area which is really the heart of tourism for anyone who visits Paris there. This particular police headquarters, a place where you may also, for example, as a Paris citizen, get routine documents checked. So it's possible that other people were caught up inside that area. And of course, now police desperately trying to be sure that this was just one attacker, that there isn't somebody else they need to be looking for too. But Paris, sadly, since the Bataclan attacks of November 2015, a place not inured to, but increasingly used to sort of random acts of violence that could be possibly terror-related. No indication of motive here yet, but over the past months, we have seen instances in which men wielding knives have attacked strangers in the street. Alison, unclear what's happened here yet, though. A situation still unfolding in the heart of Paris.
The simple truth is that those are the same issues that the president raised with President Zelensky in their call. The president spoke about lack of European support. He spoke about corruption. And he tasked me to go and to meet with the president of Ukraine and carry our concerns about those issues. And anyone that looks at the president's transcript will see that the president was raising issues that were appropriate, that were genuine interest to the American people. And as more facts come out of this, as people take time to read the transcript of the president's call and reflect on these facts, I think they'll come to realize this is just more of the same of what we've seen from Democrats for the last 2.5 years. One of the main reasons we were elected to Washington, D.C. was to drain the swamp. And I think the American people have a right to know if the Vice President of the United States or his family profited from his position as Vice President during the last administration. That's about looking backwards and understanding what really happened. I mean, the fact that my predecessor had a son who was paid $50,000 a month to be on a Ukrainian board at the time that Vice President Biden was leading the Obama administration's efforts in Ukraine, I think is worth looking into. And the president made it very clear that he believes our other nations around the world should look into it as well.
We all know, for having covered Pence for so long, that Pence is lying and that he knows that he is, because he says that the president was raising issues that were appropriate.
Yeah,
I do not believe that Mike Pence believes the president, in his heart of hearts, or even, just superficially believes that what the president was saying was appropriate.
It's hard to imagine a Governor Pence, a House Republican Pence, under any other circumstances, any other president, seeing this exact conversation would say those things, that it's appropriate. But this is the cross that he bears. This is what he decided that he was going to jump in on when he said, Donald Trump, I will be your running mate. He has decided he's going to be loyal, that he, just like Lindsey Graham, he has decided that the Republican Party that he has been a part of, his political life, is now the party of Donald Trump. And he is on that train and he's not getting off.
Yeah, Mike Pence wants more than anything else in the world to be president. That's not unique to him. Lots of people who are vice president want to be president, with notable exceptions. Dick Cheney, though you could make arguments about that. But he wants to be president. To Dana's point, when he said, you know what, I'm going to sign on with this guy, knowing that, remember, at the time he says yes, even then, yes, Donald Trump is obviously the nominee, but even then, there are a lot of voices, Paul Ryan, prominent voices in the Republican Party who are like, do we really want to be associated with this guy? So he takes that gamble. It pays off for him, and he now understands there will not be a thing that I can imagine where Mike Pence says, you know what, I'm gonna have to disagree with the president on that. I can't.
Not publicly.
It's not publicly. I can't, because he views his fate politically as so wedded. He's not wrong, so wedded to Donald Trump that there will never be even a scintilla of space between the two of them publicly.